Good Thursday evening, everybody. I'm David Paul, KHOU 11 Chief Meteorologist. This is your Atlantic Tropical Update for Thursday evening. It is the 9th of September. We're 2 days away from the statistical peak of hurricane season in the Atlantic, September 11th. And the Atlantic Basin is certainly beginning to look like it is the peak of hurricane season. There are 4 spots that we are tracking. Only one hurricane, that is Larry. Remnants of Mindy now exiting off the east coast after bringing some heavy thunderstorms to Charleston this morning. That's now exiting it out into the Atlantic. Got a spot way off the west coast of Africa, now a 70% chance for development. We'll take a look at that. This thing in the Gulf of Mexico, well, it's in the Caribbean now, this wave as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. Now up to a 40% chance for development in the Gulf this weekend. That could bring significant rain to the Gulf Coast of Texas and Louisiana. We'll go over that as well here in just a moment. We'll start with Larry, the only hurricane on the map. But Larry is now dropped down to Cat 1, max winds of 90. It's racing north at 21. It's caught up in the upper level flow. You can see the cloud deck is beginning to be pulled off to the north as wind shear takes hold. So we've got wind shear now that is weakening this down to a minimal hurricane, Cat 1, winds between 74 and 95 miles an hour. It did miss St. George. That is good. They only had some minor north wind, and now the storm system exiting up to the north, and it should continue to the north. No change in its forecast from the Hurricane Center, taking the track way up to the north, eventually going up here between Greenland and Iceland. This will eventually bring quite a fall storm to the northern portion of the British Isles and Great Britain, and then on into Scandinavia, where portions up here could see Oslo, Norway, could see wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour a week or so out. Closer to home, Tropical Depression Mindy is now hanging on to itself barely, but it's also caught up in some upper level winds that have been shearing it really ever since it became a tropical storm yesterday. This is a loop over the past 24 hours. It spent 12 hours over land. That's it, racing northeast at more than 20 miles an hour, and now it's off the coast and racing northeast, and that'll be the end of Mindy, although it did produce some very heavy rain. At times, heavy rain really burst into southern Georgia. Take a look at this as it moved inland last night. Burst of rain over Georgia. Watch Charleston, burst of heavy thunderstorms. Charleston and the low country in South Carolina this morning, and now it's exiting to the east. And so we're basically done with Mindy. It will be a depression and then just a remnant low as we head into tomorrow afternoon. No more watches or warnings issued with Mindy. And I know what you're thinking, and I've had this question during the day today. Are these two storms going to combine, Mindy and Larry? And the answer is no, they are not. Take a look. So Mindy, the remnant low, forecast to be here by 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, while 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, Category 1 Larry is 800 miles to the north and east. So the two are just too far away. They will not be combining or coagulating as they race off to the north. That being said, they're both caught up in the same big East Coast trough. That's what is pulling Larry and racing Larry up to the north, northeast so rapidly up toward Greenland and Iceland. And eventually it's also helping to rip what's left of Mindy apart. Spinning the globe, I did want to share this with you. So here's Russia, there's the Kamchatka Peninsula, Indonesia, and look at the jet streak coming over the western and central Pacific. So this is interesting, and we monitor these jet streaks because when you get winds aloft, and these are the winds at 34,000 feet, the jet stream, you get winds up there 130, 140 miles an hour or above. Downstream from that, you can get a buckling effect in the jet stream, and that actually is being hinted at, longer range. So this goes way out to the 15th, so 6 days out. And if we do end up getting a significant buckle or trough in that jet stream flow, this may be setting up our first real significant fall event across the lower 48, at least for North America, if that trough can form downstream of the jet streak and then move on inland into North America. Just something that we are keeping an eye on as seasons are changing. Now to the Gulf of Mexico, where things have gotten a little more interesting today. Hurricane Center says once this wave moves into the Gulf, this is going to be Saturday, Sunday, you got a 40% chance that it develops into a depression or a tropical storm. So what's the situation going to look like out over the Gulf as we head into the weekend? Well, this is Saturday, and in this development zone that they've got pinned here in the southwest Gulf, there will be some wind shear. These are the winds up at 34,000, and it's coming out of the southwest. So this is enough to slow down any type of strengthening process. That's good news. Also, this development region is close to land, so that also can possibly interrupt any type of rapid intensification of a tropical system in the Gulf this weekend. That being said, the system will be moving generally northwest and north, kind of along with that flow out of the south-southwest. So we think it may allow for some minor development here. And what there is of this flow is going to push a lot of that moisture up into Texas and Louisiana. This most likely is a rain threat for Texas and Louisiana. Remains to be seen if it's going to be any type of tropical wind threat. Now, we went over how the wind shear and its proximity to land are two things working against development. One thing that will be working for development, there's plenty of very warm water in the west and southwest Gulf of Mexico just sitting there right now. So there's plenty of energy for a developing system to tap into. But so much more than just water and sea surface temperature are those upper level winds. I think that's going to be the biggest factor. And so let's see how this is going to play out. And this is the European model. So we go into Friday evening and our little disturbance is now crossing the Yucatan. A lot of moisture coming into the Gulf of Mexico. Has not closed off a low. We go into Saturday evening. Still no closed low, an open wave, tremendous amount of moisture. And notice how the moisture is being pulled off to the north and east. That's that southwesterly shear already starting to have an effect on this developing system, pushing a lot of the convection off to the northeast. We go into Sunday evening, and now the Euro does close off a low. Maybe we get a tropical depression down here off the coast of Mexico. And look at how, again, the rain shield is being pulled off to the north and east. That's the upper level wind flow at 34,000 feet, shearing that storm and probably keeping it from rapidly intensifying. The streamlines you're seeing here, these are surface streamlines. So the surface low begins to form. At the surface, we get that onshore flow across Texas and Louisiana. That brings in a rain chance starting on Sunday. And then we go into Monday, and perhaps we've still got a closed low. Euro takes it inland. So again, its proximity to land is going to interfere with any type of rapid intensification. But look at all the moisture. And again, there's the center. Notice how it's all sheared off to the northeast. But that's a scenario for a whole lot of rain across Texas and Louisiana and even into Mississippi and Alabama. Could see some of the rain on that. That's Monday afternoon. We go into Tuesday, maybe still some sort of a quasi-low over central Texas, south central Texas. But even a weak system like that can be pulling in lots of moisture. You could get a rain band or two. And so this is a heavy rain threat. This is a flash flood threat as we head into the first part of next week for Texas and Louisiana. That's Tuesday evening, still a remnant low pulling in a chance for rain. So how much rain? It's really too early to try to pinpoint any type of, who's going to get the heaviest rain and exactly how much. So this is a broad brush of the possibilities. And 3 to 5, 5 to 7 from the Brownsville coast to Corpus Christi, Matagorda Bay, Houston, Galveston Bay, and even end up into Lake Charles and the central and southern portions of Louisiana could see 5 to 7 inches of rain out of this. Closer view of Houston, Galveston. I really think you're looking at probably north and west of 59, 1 to 3 inches. South and west of 59, 5 to 7. Split the difference in Houston, call it 3 to 5. This should be spread out over several days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so hopefully it all doesn't come down at once, but we all know, especially in the Deep South, how it can all come down at once sometimes. You can get 3-4 inches in 1 or 2 heavy rain bands, so this will probably be a situation where at least part of this area from Texas to Louisiana goes into a flash flood watch, at least a watch, as we head into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame of next week. Okay, that being said, there is a wave that's just about to exit off the west coast of Africa. It's a vigorous tropical wave. Look at the heavy thunderstorms coming across West Africa. So it goes out into the Atlantic Ocean, and we go to the GFS and the Euro for guidance. And as we head into September the 12th, so 3 days out, both the Euro in red and the American GFS in yellow close off a low. We could see a tropical depression of some sort form out here in 3 days. After that, however, both the models kind of have this thing falling apart. We go into the 15th of September, and the Euro is now just an open wave. The GFS still has a weak, broad, closed low, but then going further out into the 16th, and it also opens that wave back up. So neither the Euro or the GFS, two of the models we lean heavily on for longer range guidance, have anything of significance developing out of that wave. We are at the peak of hurricane season, so these are just models, their best guess, their best algorithm guess. Mother Nature will decide and show us exactly what's going to end up happening here. There it is for this evening. Gulf of Mexico, I think it's a heavy rain threat for early next week. We're going to be watching that very carefully, and we'll continue to have updates daily on this, at least once or twice a day. Questions, comments, leave them here. Hit me up on social. Next update on Friday. We'll see you tomorrow.